Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of Anonymous, today I will address you about a subject that is pretty close to me and fairly important. And I also believe that it's important for mankind in general. So what happened is maybe 2-3 months ago I wrote a paper on how we can build a society with no currency whatsoever. So in this paper I go over the procedure on how we as humans, we as the 99%, can go and achieve a society without any currency within the existing population. I will leave the link below, so you're more than welcome to read what I've done. On top of that, when I wrote the paper, I'm actually the videographer and art director for A-Rock. And the director of A-Rock turned around when she talked to me and said, well, you know what, the paper you wrote, I found this Venus Project. Did you hear about that? Well, hell no, never heard of Venus Project, so send me the link. And I went to go and look around. And the Venus Project is actually the outcome of my paper of the currency-free society. So if you read my article, and this is something I really hope that the people from Anonymous will take the time to read my paper. The people of Anonymous will also take the time to go and make a research on the Venus Project itself. And you will see the link in between the two, which is more than achievable. As I was doing my research on the Venus Project, well, I noticed two things. The first one being that the Venus Project is perceived as an utopia, so something therefore that is impossible to achieve, which I totally disagree on, and I intend to prove to you that it's more than possible to achieve such a thing if we, as the 99%, as one, choose to go in the same direction. It's important to know as well that if a part of the population chooses to go and attempt to achieve the project, it doesn't have to be everybody at once, and I will go over that with you. As I'm doing my research as well, I noticed that there's an awful lot of videos out there bitching and cursing and putting the Venus Project down. And I intend to prove to these people today that how to achieve this, what tools we can use, and at the same time I will maybe suggest to the Anonymous group how it would be possible for you guys to achieve that a lot faster than me alone. Keep in mind for all the other viewers that are not Anonymous, that are not following Anonymous or anything like that, I am not an Anonymous member. I never got invited to join the group. I never tried to join the group in any way whatsoever. This said, it's not because a group exists that I'm not a part of that group that I am not able to subscribe to their ideas. A bit later in my research, I ended up falling onto this article that was written. And what I will do is read a part of this article to you, stop and explain a few things as we're going along, and to help you to get the background of why my project, the Venus Project, and how Anonymous can help as we're going along with this. Let's get started. The project focuses on the highlights surrounding the fall of empires throughout history in order to understand how our civilization is at risk. Scientists have identified 5 recurring factors. The first one being population. The population, if you notice, and you look at history, and there's plenty of places you can go on the internet to verify what I'm saying right now. Since 90,000 years ago, when human started to live on the planet to about 1910. The population has been consistent around 2 billion people on the planet. From 1910 on, so that would be the beginning of the industrial age, the beginning of vaccines that allowed us as human to have more and more children that survive us as parents. Therefore, the population is growing at an exponential rate. From 1910 up to today in 2015, the population is passing from 2 billion to just over 7 billion people. So in 100 years, the population growth is at a rate of 4 times what it was 100 years ago. So that means in 100 years from now, we double the population again. This is pretty scary. The second factor is water. Well, hell, it's not easy to understand that we've got fracking, we're polluting our own water, we're doing pollution on a regular basis. Anonymous is one group that is just flat out saying what the 99% is saying. Like, stop it. Stop trusting stop trusting government. Stop trusting the businesses. If we don't like having our water polluted, we as the 99%, we as being one, have to do something about this. Third factor being the climate. Well, of course, our footprint as human is creating the climate change. That has been proven over and over and over again. Anonymous is pointing that out. Thank God. But at the end of the day, even if we're talking about it and if we're saying, well, there's big issues with that, nothing is done per se. And that's where I have a solution for you guys. The next point was agriculture. Well, what I'm going to do right now is invite you to open your Google Earth, look at where the masses of populations are, and overall with the size of the planet, we're not occupying that much of the planet. And yet, if you look at the area that have been assigned for agriculture, we don't have a lot of places left to be able to grow vegetables, fruits, pigs, emus, whatever you want to eat. We're lacking space as it is today under the model we have right now. The last point that would be an issue is energy. And with the energy, again, it's not rocket science. We keep on using fuel energy. We've been using fuel energy in the last 115 years, since 1910, with the age of mechanical society, and we keep on going. And right now we carry on as a statu quo. We don't have to do that. We do have the technology to be able to take the fossil fuel, put that into history, something that we're not using ever again. We have solar energy, we have wind energy, we have, I just saw an invention not so long ago where you have a lawnmower that feeds itself with the cut grass to create its own fuel. So we have all those ideas that are not growing from anywhere because the 1% is saying, well, this is utopia, this will not be working. So let's carry on with our text here, where the convergence of the 5 factors I just mentioned can create 2 social phenomena and the stratification of society between elites and masses of poor management of global resources. Well, that would be elites, which is the 1% getting richer all the time, and the masses, the 99%. Just last week, I'm on the news, and they're talking about Sears. Sears Canada in 2013. Yes, in 2013. In January, they fired 1,600 people. 3 months later, April, they fired another around 650 people. Those people that were fired, the reason that was given was because of a 1.8% reduction of Sears profits. The same year, they took the five highest paid people of Sears and they look at their income. The income was actually, their income was increased, combining with bonuses and all that, by 85%. That means that approximately 2,300 people lost their job for five guys to earn 85% more than what they used to the year before, as a very nice congratulation for reducing their goddamn profit by 1.8%. We, the 99% as one, has to stay away from this type of behavior, and we have to create our own things. The researchers believe that the fall of modern civilization is difficult to avoid. A possible scenario would be that of famine, which affect the workers, that would be generated by overconsumption by the elites. We have that in the southern hemisphere. There's few companies making an awful lot of money on a big bunch of poor people. If we come here in the northern hemisphere, Europe, China, Russia, Canada, US, within our own society, the 99% itself, you, me, everybody around you, we are over-consuming. That means that the southern hemisphere is not getting the food they need, they're getting poorer. And because we choose to overdo the consumption, we have to change ourselves. The second scenario that would be that could be happening is would be that the resource of The other scenario would be a resource of overconsumption until exhaustion of thereof. However, the fall of modern civilization is not inevitable. That's what the researcher says. A better distribution of global wealth and better management of resources could even make the present civilization would be more stable. The Venus Project and the project of currency-free society is exactly that. And the text I've just read here, this study was made public by Nafeez Hamed, Director of the Institute for Policy and Research, the Policy Research and Development in the UK, on the Guardian website. You can go to the Guardian website, verify the information, the article is there, black and white. You will be able to read that and get the gist of the text here. Other more empirical studies prepared by the firm KPMG or the Office of Science in the United Kingdom explain that the convergence of food and energy crisis, as well as access to water problems, could create the perfect storm in the next 15 years. That's what Hamed wrote. Put the 15 years aside for a minute. It could be 30 years from now, could be 50 years from now, could be 100 years from now. Personally, I don't care when it happens. We, the people, have to do something about this. What I will invite you to do now is to go to my webpage, go to the Venus Project, venusproject.com, to see what is done there, and what I will do before you go and visit those websites to educate yourself. And my invitation here extends to the entire anonymous community. I will explain how we can go and achieve the currency-free society, and we'll go from there. So if you take a high-rise building in a poor area, and starting that in a poor area is extremely important, because this is exactly how you will notice that you can get poor people, people with no money, people with no skills, to make something work with not a penny thrown into it. So you've got your high-rise building, or you've got a hospital, or you've got a university, or like 2-3 buildings like that in the same area, where you start growing vegetables on the rooftops, and you start reproducing chicken, pigs, emus, beef, whatever you want. And with those things, all the people that are within your micro-society are fed for free. So you grow whatever you want and you reproduce whatever animal you want. That's your own choice. Well, at the end of the day, if the people within that society start taking care of the vegetables, the fruit, the meat, everybody can eat, drink, and be fed for free. Within those people that you're feeding for free, some of them will have the skills for, I don't know, solar energy, building houses that are more energy efficient. You will get people that will be able to build or have the knowledge to build electric cars. So now you end up with a set skills of people that are able to train others to put in production things that will be free for everybody else. Meanwhile, these guys are getting fed for free. So now your circle of free can be extended to, I don't know, 150,000 people, 250 people, 250,000 people. And you just keep on going like that. Well, before you know it, you end up with a city like London or Windsor or Vancouver, and the entire town is actually currency free. One thing we must remember if we choose to start something like this is the 1% will not be happy. Surprise, surprise. So now you've got the bankers, you've got the money handlers, you've got the CEOs bitching at you, calling you tinfoil hat people, because what you're doing is taking money away from their scam. The reason why at the beginning of this video I said that Anonymous, and I'm addressing myself directly to Anonymous and whoever else wants to listen to, is because Anonymous itself, since the inception of the project, what you guys have been doing is bringing to the public eye where the problems are. Who's at fault? Who's abusing the 99%? And you keep on saying, well, guys, we need to do something about this because we are one. Well, goddamn, yeah, we are one. Now, what I'm doing today is I'm giving you a solution to make things better. Within the Anonymous group, you have engineers in there. You have doctors, you have nurses, you've got an awful lot of people in the health business, you've got people in businesses itself with very, very specific skills that would be able to put themselves, all you guys together, and start this micro society to see how well it works. If me, I would try to do something like that, unfortunately I do not have the skills. I'm a videographer, I'm an art director. I can go and talk about beautiful things and make it as appealing as possible, but I sure don't have the skills to achieve it. You, the people of Anonymous, you have I don't know how many thousands of people in your group. You have all the skills required within your group to be able to achieve something like that. So two things can happen from now on. You can keep on bitching about what the 1% does, or you can ignore the fuckers and do something about it. So today, what I will kindly do is invite Anonymous. If you want to send me questions, if you want more specific about how the currency-free project can be achieved, if you want more details, I can help you with that. How to achieve those things and what skills are needed to be able to achieve that, I will leave that in the very capable hands of a group that wants the good of humanity like Anonymous. And I will just end this video right on here. You're more than welcome to send your questions right here down below. Again, we'll have the link of the article that I wrote on the money currency free. We will have the link on the Venus Project. I will also leave a link for Anonymous for all those of you that don't know what they're all about. And what I say is, if the 1% wants to call us tinfoil heads, go right ahead. I am glad to be a tinfoil head, and I'm glad to try to help society to better itself and support the 99% as one. Thank you very much.